So you take the warehouse of a cloud computing warehouse, like a server room, and you divide it up 1,000 times, which is kind of like BitTorrent, which is kind of like a torrenting technology sort of thing. So why can't you plug your phone in, and when it's charging, its processor is working, right, to handle tasks that the network needs. Now, it's a large network theory. It's a large conceptual question, but it reels back to what I'm saying about the family shop, about the family store, about the going concern of where does Bing.com go to? What's the next penny that the family store puts into its service line? So you have to go as deep as the rabbit hole is going to go. And unfortunately, I don't mean that as a metaphor. I mean, you have to look at logically the logic structure. This or that, and or this and that. You see? This or that, and this or that. And or this and that. Or nothing. So that's 4 options you've got to consider from compiling this problem. So, what's the difference between spending 1 penny and $1 million on developing a product? 1 penny and $1 million. If you had a problem and you spend $1 or a penny, or you spend $1 million, does it make the problem more or less important depending on how much you're willing to pay for the problem? Is the problem any more, less, or real? I could project and say the family store has a risk of being worth nothing in 3 years' time. You see? But how much did someone pay for that problem to be realized? Or that, did you pay 1 penny for that question to be answered? Or did you pay $1 million for that question to be answered? How much are your questions worth to you? How much are the solutions and the answers worth to you? Well, to answer a problem, to solve a problem for a question that was asked that cost a penny, the solutions is equal to that of 1 penny. Not really. You see. So it's sort of how far can the family store go? He had to cough up $40 million for the language model. And where did that money go to? Right? Where did that money go to? How much, was it 20 or 30 or 40 anyway? That lined someone's pocket, right? And that person who received the money hit a button. Here's your language model. Go run Copilot off that. Here's your chat GPT-4 language model. We'll take your $40 million. Now, was that a reasonable amount of money? Could have cost 1 penny. Or was it a 1 million, or was it 40 million? So the competitor, if people find out, it's human nature, if people find out you have a problem that needs a solution and it's worth more than a penny, they'll provide the solution, not for a penny, but for as many pennies as they can. Now the problem is, we don't want to live in Jurassic Park. We don't want to live in the Stone Age. We need utility and function to be provided by companies and groups which are licensed by the government to act according to a stakeholder, according to a legislative theory, opinion, and view. Groups and companies serve the public through law and are licensed by the government. So by extension, a company is a department of the government, of the bureaucracy. So for a company to move forward providing services, and yet its employees or staff members or competitors are extorting that company, you see, unreasonably, that's really terrorism. I see it as terrorism. So what I'm trying to say is, how do you move a company forward to provide services to the community where it improves the life of the everyman? Trying to get it done, things done, products and services at cost, not a hyperinflated amount. Oh, some geek on the street, we had to pay $40 million where it cost 1 penny. Well, where'd the $40 million go? Here's the thing, they'll say, well, they have enough money to pay for that. I hope they do. I hope they do. The thing is, running a language model, you have to run, a room of 1,000 computers or 10,000 computers, right? Or 500 computers. And you have to pay electricity bill. Then you have to pay the technicians to run the computers. You see, so it's probably fairly expensive. It wouldn't be free. There's no doubt it wouldn't be free. And so what I'm getting at, having said all that, if you want to provide to the market, to the user today, as an intermediary for a service that is a product to be offered, you see, you can even, it's almost impossible to get that service to market for the everyday person when the technology is changing and there's regulatory expectations about that technology specifically, and it's viewed as, well, artificial intelligence provides misinformation which leads to liability and damages being created. Therefore, we can't have deep learning, machine learning, and access to these data sets because it's misinformation and it creates liability, therefore it's banned. You see, well, that's the legal perspective based on the community's expectations. Well, how is that expectation being informed? Well, there was a shonky dealer, a shonky operator that put together a package that was not fit for purpose. And so we take the shonky operator, then we turn across to the industry and say, no more money, no more investment for computing science. Artificial intelligence is a computing science of logic, of the mathematics of logic. It's just the science of math. It's just data science. That's all it is. That's all it is. And like flow charts. It's data science is one big flow chart of logic of how information goes through decisions and changes. Now they're saying because of one shonky operator creates a climate now where, I mean, it could be to the point where companies can't even exist anymore or make a profit. And that because they have to innovate and they have to provide a solution they can turn a profit. And so if they're not allowed to provide products and solutions and services to everyday people, well, they cease to exist. And so what I'm trying to say is that companies can provide services in the scope of the regulatory viewpoint. But the shonky operator has ruined the cake for the birthday party. You see, shonky operators have now formed informed the community expectation that's now